Right, hello everyone. We're going to do a little job on the Jaguar today. We're going to change the oil. Now, I'm just warming the engine up at the moment. I've just got it taken over and warming the oil up before I take it out. With these cars, they do have a sump plug, but I'm going to suck it out with a vacuum pump. It's the easiest way to do it. It has a pipe on the top and you can suck it out through this pipe if you use the vacuum pump. Now, I've bought this vacuum pump from Amazon and I've bought the big one, which is about 15 litres, because I know that this tank, this engine holds 9 litres of oil. And most of the suction pumps you buy on Amazon are around about, some are 5 and some 9. So they're there or thereabouts around the maximum of oil. I want to take it out all in one go. So I've bought the 15 litre vacuum pump. I've also bought some Castrol oil, which is 5W20. Now I've gone for 5W20 because that's what's recommended in the handbook by Jaguar, and who am I to argue with them? And I've also bought myself a nice pouring jug to pour it into the engine as well, and a Bosch filter. So we'll just let the engine warm up now. We're going to leave it for 5 or 10 minutes, get the engine nice and warm, and then we're going to pump it out. I'm going to show you the vacuum pump that I bought next. Right, so this is the stuff that we've got to do the oil change with. We've got Castrol Magnatec 5W20, we've got 10 litres of that. We bought ourselves a nice oil filler jug, and we've got a Bosch, there's the part number, Bosch filter, oil filter. Now, I've also bought a Vevor oil vacuum pump, a manual one, but you can also connect it to a compressor if you want to. Now, I've actually connected the hose to, I've removed the oil filler plug, oil filler cap, and I've actually connected the hose. It fits directly onto a tube inside there, and you just push it on, basically. It's a nice tight fit. And now what we're going to do now is we're going to pump this oil out of the engine into the Vevor vacuum pump. Now this engine holds 9 litres, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on the stand. I'm going to put you on the stand and I'm going to pump the oil out, and then we'll remove the oil filter. The oil filter is underneath the cover. We'll get the cover off in a minute. Let's get this oil out. The oil now, I've created a vacuum and the oil now is draining nicely into the container. I got it nice and warm before, so it's flowing freely. It's just a case of, I've never used this before, but it seems just to be a case of, you know, creating a vacuum and just let it do its thing, and it's topping the vacuum up. see it running through the pipe. This kit comes with a couple of hoses, other hoses as well. If you haven't got a connection on your engine for it, you can connect these smaller hoses onto it and feed it down to the bottom of your sump. There's also one here which I think is for doing the brakes, draining out the brake fluid. And it comes with a couple of extra O-rings for the connection at the top. Also, you can connect this to a compressor as well if you want to. Got the engine nice and warm before, so the oil is flowing nice and freely. Like I said before, you need to be careful. These engines hold a lot of oil, a big engine, 5 litre obviously, so 9 litres. Most of these containers are a maximum of 9 litres. You have to, for this type of car, you need the bigger one. This is a 15 litre. This is the easiest oil change I've ever done, up to now anyway, touch wood. Most of my cars are over 20 years old, around about 20 odd years old, some cases 40, 50 years old, longer. So I've never had the luxury of having a tube in the engine so you can drain the oil like this. I think it's coming to the end now, you can hear it. You can see now it's just draining the dregs out now. That's pretty much it now, it's just gurgling now, so there's probably just a tiny little bit left in the bottom. Yeah, that's it now, empty. Well, thank you Vevor, that's brilliant. It's not too expensive either, it's not an expensive piece of kit. It's brilliant, worked perfectly. Right, next thing now, I need to get this engine cover off and then get to the filter. So I'll move you around to where you can see a bit better. So let's get this cover off. Right, this cover literally just eases off like that. Put it to one side, and we've got the filter here. Now, I don't know how tight it's got. Jesus, that's tight. So we need to get oil. We need to get this filter off now. We need to get the filter cover off, but it's really tight. I think I'm going to have to get a tool to get that off, so you bear with me for a minute. Right, we've got a proper oil filter wrench for this, because I don't want to put any grips on it or anything, on any other oil filter with a chain or anything like that. That's going to mark it. So we've got a proper oil filter wrench that's the right size. It's quite tight, so just loosen it off. Loosen the canister off. And there's the oil filter. Looks pretty manky. But we've got a new one to fit on. This is the new oil filter, nice shiny new one. Now we're going to remove the old rubber with a pick, the rubber seal, and we've got a new seal to fit on it. There we go, new seal. Make sure it's located in the slot. Put a bit of oil. Just wipe a bit of oil around it just to... Now this thing fits in. Make sure it's properly located inside. Bit of oil around the seals there. Now we've got two O-rings. We've got two O-rings here as well. Now they slide in to a spigot there, and that just screws in so you don't cross it. Well, that was a bit nerve-wracking. If you've never done one before, you're worried sick about trying to not crossing the threads, but it seems to have gone on okay. Now, I'll just check the torque on that thing. Right, this oil filter canister has got a torque setting of 25 Newton meters. So we've set our torque wrench, and I've nipped it up by hand quite tightly actually. But I'm going to just, there we go. So that's set now at 25 Newton meters. thing to get this off. Right, so that's the oil filter. Right, so that's the oil filter. The new oil filter fitted with a new O-ring and torqued down to 25 Newton meters. So the next thing now is to put the oil in. So I'm going to put, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you a picture of the manual, the user manual, showing you the amount of oil and the type of oil to be fitted with the serial numbers, etc. Right, this is a picture of the Jaguar Xk handbook. Engine oil specification, I've highlighted it. It recommends Castrol and use only 5W20 engine oil meeting a specification of WSS M2C925-A. So I've followed the handbook exactly. According to the handbook, the engine oil capacity for the engine is 7.25 litres, 12.8 pints. That's the engine oil for an engine oil and refill and filter change for all vehicles. It's 7.25 litres or 12.8 pints. Okay, that's in the handbook on page 191. I've highlighted it for you. So I thought it was 9 litres, it isn't. Look, it's 7.25 litres. The handbook recommends that while we're filling the oil, that we have the ignition on, so that we can check the electronic dipstick. So I've got the ignition on at the moment, and it's showing it's empty. So we're going to put 5 litres of oil in our filler, our new oil filler. So here we go. Nice can. I like this can. That's made it really nice and easy to put oil in. So there's just over 5 litres gone into the engine at the moment. Just going to see if it's registered anything on the ignition. So we're going to put another 2 litres of oil in, and that will take it up to just over 7 litres, and then we'll see what the gauge says. Right, we've got another 2 litres of oil to put in, which takes it up to just over 7 litres, which should be just about right, and give or take a little bit. You've got to be careful. I mean, having too much oil in is as dangerous as having too little oil in sometimes. So I don't want to overfill it, but at the same time, if we got too much in, we can just draw some out with the Vevor pump. Makes it easy. Let's have a look at the dashboard, the electronic oil gauge. Right, I think we're going to have to just leave it for 10 minutes or so and then come back to it and just give it time for the gauge to register what oil's in it. Right, now the ignition, the electronic dipstick is not registered at the moment. And I think it's because you have to leave it for a certain amount of time to, when you check the oil, you have to leave it for 10 minutes once you've turned it on. So I'm going to leave it for a while. I've put the engine cover back on, I'll put the cover in. But what I've done in the meantime, while I've been waiting, is I've measured the amount of oil that has come out of the car, and it is just under 7.5 litres. So I've put the exact amount back in that I took out. I measured it and put the exact amount back in. So I just don't feel comfortable with this, not having a dipstick to check it with. I just don't feel comfortable the way they do it with this electronic dipstick. I know I've put 7.5 litres of oil in it, but it still doesn't make you feel confident that it's right. Anyway, well, I'll have to wait now for everything to settle down and wait for the electronic dipstick to register. So I'm going to go and have a cup of coffee and then come back in about half an hour when everything's settled down. Right, there's the electronic dipstick on the dashboard telling me that the level is okay. So that's it. What we're going to do now is we're going to put all my stuff away, and I'm going to take the car for a run and then come back and then check the dipstick again and see if it needs topping up. But basically that's the end of the oil change. I hope it's been some use to you, and well, basically that's the end of the oil change. Now the only thing that I'd be careful with is when you're removing and refitting the oil filter canister, you do need a proper oil filter spanner or socket, because I think it's the chains, or the ones that the three-pronged ones that grip the oil canister, would damage it. And if you want to look after your car, well, I think a proper oil filter socket would be useful. So thanks for watching, and I hope it's been some use to you. Good luck if you do your own.